Today marks 1252nd day sharing lessons I learned and continue to learn with all of you. My hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, and will empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today we speak about furnace. Furnace that you want to throw a lot of logs to have a beautiful long-term fire. And I think that I want to look into metaphor, analogy, like how is that really comparing to our personal growth, personal development? Because we need to understand that our growth is very, very similar to a furnace. How to manage a furnace is how you manage personal development. And today we'll share like examples. Where is how is the similarities between the furnace and personal growth? So number one, we need to understand that we need to start with a strong foundation. We need a strong foundation. That means that as a furnace requires a strong foundation because of course if it doesn't protect it, it could go sideways. And I think that in our life we need to understand that we need to have a strong foundation. And there is strong foundation in us. For furnace, it's more about structure. And our structure is internal structure. What kind of things do we have developed internally to really making sure that it doesn't matter what kind of fire goes through us, we're able to persevere. So resilience is part of the foundational thing. Mindset is part of the foundational structure thing. Perspective is foundational thing. Having ability to say that I will work until I will succeed. So this is a foundation. Foundation is having that courage and willingness to really take the necessary actions to really move forward. That is a foundational structure of our furnace of personal growth. Second thing is that be patient. I think that fire sometimes takes time to build because fire is like a momentum. It means that when you think about that, now if you have ever had to really chance to look into how people used to really create fire, they used to work very, very hard, move very, very fast until there's a small sparks, and then that those sparks lead to fire. So that means we need to be patient if you want to really create that momentum of fire, because it might be that it will take a while to really create some sparks. Those sparks will create some fire, and it might be that we'll have the furnace, but you'll not have the fire yet because we're working on creating sparks for that fire. And I think it's very, very important to understand that you're not able to get immediate results in life, in personal growth as well. You really start implementing the right actions, but you're not getting results because you're just getting sparks of results. Those sparks of results is getting you better, you getting better. But it means it might be that you compare yourself, you're maybe confident like 3 from 10, now you're 4 from 10, maybe 5, maybe 6 from 10. So those incremental improvements of yourself is those sparks that will lead to the results in that fire in your personal life. Number 3 is use the right tools. I think that we need to use the right tools to really make fire. Of course, that if you are using the wrong tools, you'll never get fire. I think that's when I think about personal growth, the best tools is books, audios, seminars, specifically mentors, guides, coaches. Those are the tools to develop and really making sure that we're able to ignite that fire, that power within that furnace. So that means if we are using the wrong tools, we're not able to create that fire. It might be that, I need to play games, video games to create a fire. No, that's probably destroy the fire. So being able to use, okay, what kind of tools do I need to use to make sure that I'm creating that fire? Number 4 is adapt to different conditions. I think that means that when the fire is different conditions, that means that maybe it's massive wind, how to adjust on the wind. Maybe it's raining, how to cover everything. What kind of things you need to do to really making sure that you adjust? Maybe your wood will get like soaked if you leave something. That means being able to create a roof around that. And I think that the same thing is in our personal life, that inner fire needs to be protected no matter what. And what is that? It might be that there's setbacks, disappointments, adversity, grief, loss, so many things that will really try out our fire. We need to really making sure that we adjust, learn how to operate, learn how to protect our fire, because our fire is so important. And then sometimes we work so hard to create that fire, and now like some setback comes in and we allow to disappear. No, I think that you need to fight for that fire. That fire is so important. It gives us motivation, discipline, the joy, meaning, everything. So we need to protect that life, personal growth, and life fire. Number 5 is avoiding burnout. And this is again, it might be that, like, let's say that you have, like, the furnace, you have 10 logs. You can throw them all at once, and it will be massive fire for a short period of time, and then you don't have any logs, and then because you don't have any logs, the fire will disappear. I think exactly the same with our inner energy. So it means it might be that you have, say, 10 out of 10 your energy levels and your time, and you throw everything, all the energy right now, and then you disappear energy, and then for a couple of days you are empty-handed. You don't have energy, and you might lose momentum. So it means that when we think about working hard is very, very important, but rest is essential as well. Because if you put those energy logs in your fire and you're not allowed to really wait until those other logs will come in, we'll lose. We'll lose big, because we will lose momentum, we'll lose that fire, we'll lose motivation. Because I think that's where the burnout comes in, when you start to give energy, trying to give energy where there's no energy to give anymore. It's very, very important. Number 6, surround yourself with other fires. I think that it's great to be, like, if you will, like a furnace, and there's a couple other furnaces. It might be that your logs are finishing, and maybe there's another furnace that you can borrow for a short period of time, a log, so to keep your fire in. I think that's exactly the same with our internal world. So it means when you are growing, improving, developing, and you see that there's another person who is growing, improving, and you are lacking some motivation log today, and you're not able to throw that log in your inner world, and you'll see other persons throwing and throwing motivation logs. It's like, could I borrow your motivation today, your motivation log? So you're able to go in and take someone else's motivation and throw internally, because sometimes it's great to have someone to borrow the courage log, borrow the motivation log, borrow discipline log, borrow accountability log. We don't want you to depend all the time. We want you to give it back, because other fire will need some support as well in the future. So being able back and forth with the logs, I think is essential to really make sure that we always keep momentum going. Number 7 is recognize when to add more fuel. I think that we need to understand, okay, how much do we need to really put in? How much? Because of course, if you don't know how much to put, I think that we're able to really, because that fire creates energy. And if we just put a little bit of fuel and it's just barely going, we'll not have like full energy and bliss and joy to really pursue those big visions. But when you're really able to ask, okay, how much do I need to put that fuel? How much do I need to put both? How much do I need to execute? How much all those things? Because this is the seasons of life that we need to allocate different fuel in ourselves. But we need to really ask and be aware and reflect, how much do we need to put? Because it depends how much you will put, it depends how much output of the energy you will get. This is very, very important. Number 8 is that know that not all logs are the same. So that means that you can potentially read one book or get another book. And you can execute on one action, you can execute on another action. You can have mentorship from one person or another person. So it means logs could be a mentor. It's almost, you can say, the same log, but those logs are different, because one person could help you to move from one place to another, and the other person could move to a whole different location. So know exactly what kind of log do you need the most right now. Do you need maybe like some kind of very fast energy? Because if your fire is very, 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 very small right now, we don't need like long burning log. We need something that could really ignite that fire. It could be a little bit bigger. So we need something that could really ignite that fire as fast as possible. So we ask, what kind of log could give me the most results right now? When we have that, when maybe we have quite a lot of logs and it's burning very fast, maybe we need to throw some logs that are very long term commitments. Because if you are firing like those fear of missing out and firing, it's not good, because we constantly need to fire something in to really feel excited. Sometimes you just need to really throw some long-term commitments, so long-term logs, just to make sure that we're able to really keep that fire for a long time. That vision log is an amazing thing. Number 9 is keep the air flowing. And that means that we need to really stay open to new ideas. Because sometimes if we have a furnace and we close that out, and you know that we're not able to have fire in a vacuum, because fire requires oxygen. And I think that in our mind, in personal growth, we need to keep open. Because sometimes we just get close. We learn one idea and we don't want to keep that. No, we need to really be open. And that openness and fresh air, fresh ideas will allow us that fire inside be always big and explosive. And that's exactly what we want. We need to really that fire big and making sure that we always have massive energy and discipline from that fire and joy and bliss. And there are so many great things coming just from that fire. And I think that the last thing that I want to mention about that is that we need to tend your fire daily. That means we need to really put logs daily. Daily. Like if you leave that fire for a long time and you don't do anything about it, when you come back to the fire, it will be lost. We'll need to refire that. I think that's just one of the biggest things why people, amazing people, so many times struggle to achieve massive results because they they ignite the fire, they put so much energy, and when they ignite the fire, they think that that's exactly when what's the time is to get results. But igniting the fire is just a stepping stone to start getting results. So that means that when you have the fire, now you're able to really have ability to really achieve results. And a lot of times people think that they put so much effort to ignite that fire, and that when they ignite that fire, is supposed to have results. But that is just a stepping stone, and this is one of the things that people quit at when they have a fire. They quit because they thought that at that moment the fire will be ignited, then it will be have results. And we want to learn how to ignite that fire every single day because when we're able to be keeping that momentum, keeping that fire, and execute with that fire, because a lot of people don't have that fire inside, and because they don't have that fire inside, they not, and that fire is like a lot of this attitude. What kind of attitude and courage and values and confidence do you have in your life? Because people see the fire that you have in yourself, and when you have that inner strength, that fire, and everything else that you do during that time, you get so much more out of it, and so much more out of those actions. So I hope you reflect as well. Do you feel that fire inside, or you have lost it? I think that we need to really start this thinking, okay, if we do not have fire at the moment, you don't have attitude, vision, aspirations, inspirations, dreams, goals for myself, the first thing I need to do, not taking actions, aimless actions, we need to focus on building that fire that I could have that motivation. Visualize success, visualize achievement, and when you have that fire, then take those actions to use that fire to really get massive results. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.